Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. The first card you have, Cancerians, is the Two of Wands, and it's in the upright for you. Below it says, the path appears when you step forward. Right, because if you see the picture, there is this person that's, climbing this, what do you call, mountain, cliff, whatever this is. And he doesn't have his climbing gear with him. He's not even wearing a shirt. Shirts are symbolic of the armors and, the guards that we carry around us, the fears that we have in our minds before we, take the leap forward. But this person is not wearing a shirt. So he has left his fears behind. He has removed the armor before climbing this cliff. So I feel that this person out here looks like he's very driven to climb forward, and he's also in the middle of this move at a point where there is no going back. There's no turning back for this person. Now, further on it says here, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So basically, it's about, leaving your comfort zone behind here, Cancerians, because I feel you have an idea. You have a vision that you have been thinking about working on for quite some time. Maybe you've been planning. Now it's time to make that move that you have been planning for so long. And I feel that you already are aware of the risks that things could go wrong. But that's with everything. There is no guarantees to anything, whether it's in business, whether it's in a personal life or a side gig. There is no guarantees for, anything could happen. It could go both ways. And that's what this Two Wands is about. It could be two directions that you have to choose from. So now I feel that the push that you're getting with this is an energy of Mars and Aries, which is like a high power push. And you being the cardinal water sign, this is a very driven, this is a fire energy pushing you forward. It's like fire and water combined together and make that steam. And steam is very powerful. Steam was used to drive engines forward, to create electricity even. So it's a very powerful tool that, to propel forward. But the thing about steam here in your case is, you being the water sign Cancerians, yes, it's a powerful tool to move forward. The steam can give you that momentum, that push. But, steam is also hard. It can burn you if you're not careful. So you might be planning a bold move here. You might be, in business. It could be in your personal life, side project, whatever this is. But it definitely is asking you to choose that, to be courageous, to be strong enough to deal with, something as powerful as steam. Yes, you have to be careful. You cannot be reckless. But it's still asking you to push forward, to keep moving forward. And think of fire. Fire are always transformative. Fire energy is always transformative. It's also the fire energy is also connected to the divine well. It's a spiritual energy. So you are being guided forward here, Cancerians. It might feel a little uncomfortable because that's what expansion and changes feel like to everybody. We're all creatures of comfort. Leaving our comfort zone will definitely make us uncomfortable, each one of us. But I feel that if you have that fire letting you, to move forward, maybe you're driven, you have a goal that you want to achieve. So it's your emotions right now that's going to drive you forward. It's like your feelings, your emotions become your fuel for forward movement. So, if you, in the third chakra, there's Two of Wands is known as the Lord of Dominion. And what it means is claim your domain, claim your territory. So I do feel that there is a growth, there is expansion. and you're very, you're driven forward. There's like a fire which is lit in you to move forward. And I feel it's because of some kind of experience that you have had is actually pushing you to in this direction. Because, when you look at fire, if it's out of control, it becomes destructive. But if it's channeled correctly, it's very transformative. Now, the thing about this energy is it's a Mars and Aries card, right? 2 of Wands. But right now, Mars is, it's moving through the energy of the collective Gemini. And Gemini is a dual energy, but it's an air sign at the same time. The air signs are about ideas and thoughts and plans and processes and all of that. But because Mars is moving through that, you will have a lot of ideas, Cancerians. But I feel that the energy that you're putting out might be in different directions. It may not be focused. Gemini is not a focused sign. It's a little bit of a scattered energy because it's an air sign. So when Mars is there moving through that, transiting through that energy, it can feel that your efforts are scattered. So by scattered, I mean you could be pushed and pulled in different directions. Like, maybe you have, like, for example, you want to start a business. So you made a plan and everything. You have, you have all ideas. But now you're like, okay, you know what? I have to go shopping for my friend's wedding. So I'm going to first complete the shopping, and then I'm going to get back to my business plans. Then once you're done with the shopping, you're like, okay, let me plan something. Let me get my ducks in a row. And you start, for example, you want to set up a store. So you go looking out for stores. Now you have like 10 stores in mind you want to put an offer to. But then something comes up and you're like, oh, you know what? A lot of plumbing issues in my house. Let me get this plumbing thing fixed. Let me get my house painted. And then I'll get back to buying that store. So it's that kind of a scattered energy. So I do feel that, you need to stay a little bit focused. But the good thing about it is that, in the next few days, your money house is going to be expanding through Jupiter. So whatever, direction or investments or plans that you have in regards to making money, I feel it's going to pay off now. It's going to grow. It's going to expand. Because Jupiter is, in Cancer right now, which is, but it's going to be in the sign of Leo very soon in the next month or two. So Leo is your second house, of money, of resources. Then before the move itself, Jupiter will start to show growth and expansion. So in the area of your finances, investments, and all of that, you'll definitely see new ideas and payoffs and growth in that area. Now, I also feel for some of you, this could be like, if you are signing any kind of contracts or if you're waiting for contracts to be approved and all of that, you might get positive movement in that area as well. So for some of you, I feel that it is a good time to move forward with any creative ideas, even if it feels like overly ambitious or a little bit scary. This energy is encouraging you to move forward. This could also be growth in your already existing businesses, or, you might be expanding further. You might be partnering up with people. For some of you, it could be investment into real estate, or your portfolio, your financial portfolio is growing. And for others of you, this could be growth in your social circle, growth in your relations, personal and professional, meeting new people, growing on the social front. Just depends on where your placements are. But there's a lot of growth and expansion for you. I also feel that this could be growth outside of your city, your state, your country. This could be in foreign territories. This could be that you're expanding your reach somehow across the borders, because 2 of Wands is like, it could be international expansion as well for some of you. I'm also picking up an energy like you could be seeing a lot of growth in the world in general, like, a lot of countries or companies that are expanding into newer places that they haven't tried before, moving away from traditional areas into newer areas, newer zones. Um, so you might be seeing that something happening around you as well in regards to people making investments or buying properties across different countries, somewhere in foreign lands. Now, that foreign could be, outside of your state or your city or your country. Now, if this is not your energy, Cancerians, this could be people around you. You could see them moving fast, taking the next steps. Some people could be making some announcements. You could be hearing something that they're moving or they're growing or they're investing or they're buying properties. You might be hearing things like that, or it could be happening around you, where you live. Newer people coming in, newer malls or businesses being set up around you. You could be meeting a lot of people. You could be seeing a lot of new faces around you, maybe in your office, maybe in your place where you live. Things are like moving fast, fast moves around you. Nor some of you could be even, changing of jobs, or you could be hearing some people in your family or your near friends that are making some kind of job changes, or they're deciding something, making decisions. It could be in regards to their own personal lives, maybe this deciding to get married, or some kind of a relationship shift is happening for them. But you'll probably be in that energy of either making moves and making announcements, or hearing some kind of announcements, or seeing people make faster moves. People that have been thinking like, analysis paralysis, shouldn't I? So you will see that people are now becoming more decisive and making those moves versus staying stagnant and procrastinating. The next card you have, Cancerians, is the doll. Now, if you look at this picture, there is a beautiful doll out here just standing like that. I mean, dressed perfectly, very neatly, and below here is it's asking, who dressed you in this outfit, and did you ever choose it yourself? So I feel like if you see the doll is like about presentations, appearing a certain kind of way, playing so many roles. This is like, appearing like, on the surface, like keeping up appearances, like of having it all together, performative energies. It's like being very composed and, performing so well that, people sometimes when they're in the mode of performing on the time, they even forget that they're performing. So I feel here for Cancerians, this is like you have mastered this art of presenting or presentation of in some way. It's like you know exactly how you need to show up. You know how to look in certain areas and places and people and occasions and things like that. And you're doing it all beautifully. Now, what you need to ask yourself is this the real you that's beneath all these beautiful clothes? So much so that, especially for you Cancerians, your symbol is the crab, right? Bearing that hardcore shell. So I feel that even if you feel something so deeply and intensely, you perform so well that everything's fine, that nobody can even tell that something's wrong. But I feel that in the next few days, people, something's going to crack out here. And I feel that, what lies underneath this packaging, this presentation, is going to be visible to people. Because I feel that, with this doll energy, it's like trying to fit in a certain kind of way or a mold, trying to fit a mold. But our dear Cancerians, this is actually asking you to break this mold. And I feel that you are going to do that for the most part. It's like once you recognize how you have been conditioned or, like how you present yourself, you appear and do things. I feel you're going to recognize that you're always dolled up. And I feel that you will take the next steps to change that. And the Two of Wands, I feel, is going to give you that courage to express what you're feeling. It's like maybe you've been holding back, you've been feeling a certain type of fear, you've been hiding how you've been feeling, but I feel that now you're getting the push to actually be who you are, to see what you feel, to be very authentic and honest with yourself and other people in regards to, what you're feeling. So you're going to recognize that you try to, avoid things, or you don't say things because, you don't want to upset people and all of that. You don't want to shift dynamics. You don't want to upset dynamics. But I feel that, whatever you've been doing just to keep the peace and all of that is actually draining you, Cancerians. So people are going to see that shift in you, because I feel something at your core is changing. The way you express, the way you dress, whatever that is going to change up. And I feel you will do that for yourself for the most part. And I also feel that all of this, doll thing, this but showing up in a certain type of way, being perfect, oh, everything's good, this, that, and the third, I feel that you're going to change that up. You're like, no, I'm not perfect. I'm real. So you're going to feel very alive, very real, and you're going to express it. You're like, this is me, take it or leave it. So I feel that, a lot of reflection, a lot of self-awareness, and a lot of honest questions that you're going to ask yourself, Cancerians, even before making decisions. You're going to be like, do I really want this? Why am I doing it? Because somebody wanted me, somebody expects me, or is it my own personal wish? And I feel that once you start asking those honest questions and you get the answers, you are going to act accordingly that sits well with you. So there's something about you, the older version and newer version. I feel you're stepping into a more real or newer version of you, Cancerians here. This is a huge spiritual growth and, evolution for you. Now, further on, it says you are not a puppet, you are the creator. Step into your true self. And I feel that's exactly what you're doing. Now, this can be in your personal life or your professional life. It's like, for example, you're in in your professional office, like maybe your team wants to implement an idea and they're taking, some kind of decisions, but it's not sitting well with you. In the past, in the older version of you, Cancerians, you'd be like, okay, you're not going to say anything. You're just going to go with whatever the team decides or management decides. But I feel here, now you're going to speak your mind. Like, this is not right. I don't think it's good. Instead of just sitting silent, and for some of you, if it's in your personal life, maybe it's like people, they have some plans and they want to do something. They want to go here, there, maybe plan a vacation, which you're not interested in, or plan a party that you're not interested in, or move to a different house or city, or make a decision in your personal life, your friends and family. And maybe you were like, okay, I'll just go with this decision of theirs, but now you're ready to speak up. It's like, no, I don't want to go here. I don't want to attend this party. I don't want to shift. I don't want to move. I don't want to change job. Whatever that is, you're going to speak your mind out. And I feel that if you are fearing that, people are going to see you in a negative light because you're speaking your mind out, I feel it's going to be just the opposite. People are actually going to respect you for being real with them. People don't respect the doll version of ourselves. Let me tell you that, Cancerians, and that goes for everybody. The polished version that we present to people, nobody really respects that, I feel. Like, being real is something that is hard, but I feel people respect that more than anything. And you will be respected for your realness, Cancerians. So you might be seeing also people around you that are getting more real with themselves or with the people around them. It's like an Instagram moment. People just want to just leave that behind because Insta culture sometimes it's like, and now I feel like, a lot of people are actually tired of the performances on social media. So that's a true reflection of this dull energy, that's just cracking open, sorry. Now, this can also be in your place, in your city, in your house, where people are expected to perform. Things are different on the face and behind closed doors. So things might be changing up around that. And even nationally, even in the news, you might be hearing like people, especially when the press conferences are held, everybody is just saying something different, whereas something different is brewing behind doors. So that's like a performative thing, right? That's a performative moment. So I feel that energy is cracking open as well. Now, this can be also in when you're buying homes or land or something. When people and salespeople are selling, the whole thing's up on products, whether it's homes or any other things. The investments, the insurances, everything's just dolled up and presented in a different style, whereas beneath the packaging, things are different. And I feel that might be cracking open. So I feel that that's what's shifting up, Cancerians, for you. It might be that, if you feel bad, you might be holding back from saying things. But now I feel that you're going to be honest. Like, if something hurt you, you're going to say to the face, like, this is what hurt me. I hope we don't do this again, or you don't do this again, or something like that. I feel you're going to be more honest than you ever were, which is a good thing. But some people might, kind of be surprised by this change, that you are being very honest, and they might come at you saying, oh, you know what, you're too sensitive, or you're too dramatic, or things have changed, or you're not the same, and things like that. That's okay. As long as it makes you happy, authenticity is your way to go. And the last card for today, Cancerians, you have is a message from Cosmos, and it says, don't be afraid to say, I love you or thank you to those who deserve to hear it. Don't be scared of embarrassing yourself or appearing soppy. You will never regret a heartfelt, I love you, or a message of appreciation. You will only ever regret not saying it. Exactly. So that's what we're talking about in this entire reading. It's about not holding your feelings back. If you're feeling a certain type of way, say it out loud. If you appreciate the people that, that you appreciate, that are doing something nice for you, that make you feel good. Whether an I love you doesn't just have to be in a romantic way. It could be with your friends, your family, express how you feel. If something doesn't sit right, say that as well. And people will be open to hearing it, I promise. So Cancerians, those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. Now moving on to the sign of Scorpio. The first card you have, Scorpio, is the Strength card, and this is Major Arcana number 8. So the number 8 is coming through strong with this energy. Over here, if you see in the picture above, there is a woman, and she's very calm. She's smiling as she's opening this lion's mouth. She has her hands in the mouth, and she's calm about it. She's not forcing the mouth to be open. At the same time, if you see the picture below, there is some kind of a struggle out here she's facing. So there is a dichotomy over here. I feel, Scorpio, like the strength for you being the fixed water sign, I feel the strength is more about your internal mastery, especially because Scorpio Ita's energy is more about the depth, the intensity. I feel that this strength is, having a mastery over that intensity, whether it's your emotions or whether, it's the way you do things. Because over here, this woman, she has her hands in the mouth of lion. She's not afraid. Why is she not afraid? Because she's already dealt with these kind of situations. It's not that she's naive or she doesn't know like how hard the lion can bite. It's just that she's already survived more harder situations, that this doesn't feel hard to her. So I feel that in the past, Scorpio, you have been through so many situations that would have been really difficult, but you survived it. You faced those situations that would have probably destroyed other people. I feel that for some of you, this could be the, your expression or the love that you give people, the care that you give people. Scorpios, when they love them, they give. They are so intense. They're so ferocious with their love, in a good way. They love ferociously. And sometimes that kind of like throws people back. It terrifies some people that are not ready for that real kind of a love. So I feel that you have been, so strong that you have felt all those emotions, the ups and downs, and you survived all of it. And on top of that, you've not only come out of it, but you have risen. It's like the phoenix rising moment. So this lion is is the intensity of the 8th house, Scorpio intensity. It's also a very primal power. We all know about lions, and especially this is shown as a red lion. So there is passion, there's intensity, there is also anger, rage, whatever that is. It's and for Eta Scorpio energy, it's like everybody calls it the Scorpio thing. It's that kind of intensity. And this woman is putting her hands inside the lion's mouth, where she could be destroyed in a single second. So I do feel that. And if you see around the girl, this lady and the lion, there is like golden butterflies. Butterflies are always about transformation. And because they are gold, there is something positive which is coming out of this. Now, for Scorpios, these emotions, like the intensity, I would say sometimes the obsession even, when it comes to the shadow side of it, we have to include all of the emotions and qualities of the, of the 8th house energy, which is Scorpio energy. So you're capable of both, deeper love and obsession and in those intense emotions. And at the same time, the Scorpio, infamous Scorpio's thing, I would say, that's the destructive element that we're talking about here. And that's what this line is also about. So I feel that, this is all about taming that. This is like facing your fears, looking into those shadow sides and taming it. And I feel that you already have done that for the most part, Scorpio. But I feel that in the next few days, this is more than ever required from you to stay strong, to tap into those inner emotions, the depth, the intense emotions, to kind of, have strength to master it. Not to fight it, but to master it with love for yourself, with compassion for yourself, like knowing that you're going through this and still dealing it with compassion. Like, yeah, I got this. I will integrate the shadow side and I will make it work for me. It's the kind of energy that I pick up. Now, for some of you, this could be the strength that you will need to walk with, in some situations that feel like it's impossible. Like, so maybe it's a difficult situation, but you got this. You know how to handle it. Now, this strength card is actually for sign of Leo, which is the 5th house fixed fire energy, and you're the fixed water energy. Where it comes together, especially that intensity of fire and water, it creates steam. So I feel this is some kind of a collective thing, because Cancerians also had a little bit of a steam dynamic going on. But I feel that this is because, Leo is also a fixed fire sign, and Scorpio, you're a fixed water sign. I feel this is like, this is the momentum that steam creates. It's the forging part of it, right? It's like, what is it? Like the forging moment, like when the metal is hot and you dip it and immerse it into cold water, it doesn't break. That metal doesn't break. The heated metal, it actually hardens into something which is unbreakable. And I feel this is your moment. You are being turned into someone unbreakable. This is like the true strength, Scorpio. It's not just performative strength. It's like a typical Scorpio moment right now. What they say, like, specifically for, most people, when we're out there working out in the gym and all of that, it's said, like, when we lift weights and we flex the muscles, that's what actually builds the muscles, Muscles are, and for us, especially when we're lifting weight, that's the moment our strength, the muscle strength is being tested, right? Under controlled tension. It's the stress, it's the strain that has been mastered by the muscles. And I feel it's the same thing in this strength card as well for you, Scorpio. And because there is a Leo energy in this, the strength card, it's a moment where you are going to express yourself without feeling guilty about it, with, unapologetic. You're going to express yourself. This is the full expression of how strong and powerful you are in the right way. It's the moment where you're going to leave some demons out here, Scorpio, but you're going to smile through this. Now, because Scorpio, your ruling planet is Mars, the modern day planet, and it's a Gemini right now. And Gemini is the air sign, a little bit of a scattered energy. I feel that because of that, your energy, your time could be spread across fighting n number of battles, at the same time. So you could be in a situation where you have to, address a lot of difficult situations, but all at the same time. Now, I also feel this could be something related to the power dynamics either in your office, in your house, in your family, somewhere, some kind of a power structure that you have been working through or working with. I feel that's also going to change. In the sense that the older ways of hierarchy or the way power was used or, the power was wielded is now no longer going to be able to be used in that same way. So there is some kind of a change in the power dynamics or power structures around you. Now, while those things are changing and, the power structures are changing, there could be some kind of heated conversations that happen with you, whether it's in your office or your, at home, family, neighborhood, somewhere. So you have to be very mindful of the words you say. Because your words could be used. You could be using your words as weapon, like to destroy people. Because sometimes scorpionic words, they really destroy people. They hit them hard. So you have to be very mindful of that, Scorpios. Now, for some of you, this can also be about self-control. So you might be in situations that will, test your self-control in a big way, Scorpio. So be ready for that. And for some of you, this could be some deep emotions. It could be anger, it could be emotions, hurt, or something that you are trying to process. It's like an internal work that you're doing, kind of an internal transformation that's happening for you. So some of you, this could be in regards to relationships as well. You could be a little bit of a make or break turning point for some of you. So I would say, the advice would be to choose, to choose, some of you might have to choose. Are you going to choose, yourself, or are you going to choose the partnership, or some kind of a choice that you might have to make in regards to relationships? But I would say that if you're feeling anything intense right now, Scorpio, to be able to have that internal strength, I would, spend some time in meditation, spend some time, by yourself in order to process all these thoughts before you say anything disturbing. But I do feel that no matter what situation it is, you are going to be, very emotionally balanced to all of this. You're going to be very composed. You're going to be very confident in your, in your decision-making ability. So the only thing is, take a pause before you say something, don't react, don't be impulsive, don't be reactive. Take a moment, think things through, and then you respond. That's going to really help you and score in the next few days. So I feel that for some of you, this can also be breaking your habits. You might be addicted to something, but now you're facing those fears, you're facing your addictions, and you're putting a full hard stop to it. For some of you, this could be like binge eating or drinking, whatever that is, you are kind of putting a hard stop to it. And that takes a lot of courage. So I feel that you're pulling on that strength to change those habits and patterns. For some of you, this could be staying calm. And, no matter who you're talking to, you could be talking to people that you don't want to listen to, but you're still going to listen to the entire thing, whatever they have to say, and you're going to, you're going to respond politely and respectfully, no matter how much annoying that person is to you. This can also be facing your fears in regards to starting something. Maybe a project that you were scared about, but now you're taking the plunge. This could be a hobby, something that you had pushed out for too long. Maybe it's gym, maybe it's some workout routine or something that you were like, I don't have the courage to do it. I've heard scary stories or something like that. But now finally you made up your mind, finally you have the courage, and now you're out there showing up for yourself. So facing those kind of fears can also be the case for some of you. Now, if this is not your story, this could also be somebody around you, maybe your family, your friends, your neighborhood that could be struggling with something really big. Maybe they don't have the courage to speak it out or share it with anybody, So I feel that some of them, for some of you, it could be that hard, because they're unable to, say it out in front of anybody else. They might reach out to you. And for just some of you, this might be somebody who has, some kind of an authority figure that you have been dealing with. Could be, somebody elder in your family, could be a neighbor, office, is dealing with some kind of a crisis, that they might reveal to you. The next card you have, Scorpio, is the Toad. Now, if you see in the picture, there is a small toad which is sitting quietly. And it's not taking a leap forward. So it's very much in its still position and it's watching. Look at the eye pop out. So over here, basically, Toad is about, the hidden depth. It's a very high priestess energy. It's the inner knowing. For you, this is also about the unknown spaces, the unseen things. It's about seeing things that other people miss because you're looking where other people are not looking. So this is completely your energy, Scorpio. It's like, a lot of people misread you because they only see the surface of you. But what lies deeper within you, at your soul, at your core, is actually the real Uigui soft healing person, the healing soul that you are, the jewel that you are. Nobody sees the inner side of you. So I do feel that, not a lot of people are able to see through your surface, Scorpio. Because, you are something really extraordinary from within. And not many people know about it. Now think about the toad. It comes from being a tadpole, and it transforms into this toad. It's such a huge change. It's such a huge metamorphosis. And Scorpio is all about transformations, big transformations. So I feel that this is more about your gut feelings in the next few days, Scorpio. I feel that you will be able to sense things, feel things, read the rooms. Way much more than, information. You will sense things before you get the data, before you get the information. And, from what I know, toad skins are also used for medicinal purposes. They've been used for a lot of painkillers, from what I know. So this is again like, something that doesn't cook. Can you ever imagine a toad skin being used for medicinal purposes? But here you go. It is extraordinary. Even though, the sound that these toads make, the croaking sound, is also known in a lot of cultures to be, an abundance call. It's like, because toads are known to, secretly they're known to bring rain. They're with their sounds, with the noises that they make. So, symbolically, it's like calling in abundance. And if you see over here, the toad is sitting still. It's not moving. It doesn't even plan to take a leap. There is no, I feel that this is more about the stillness, the groundedness. To be patient enough to know when to say, when to do things, when to act. Because things might be moving a lot faster around you. A lot of things might be emotion in moving, a lot of things happening around you. But I feel that in the middle of all the chaos and the movement that's happening, you still need to be still. The only caveat with this is the Taurus is a little bit of an isolating energy, Scorpio. So, while it's very important for you to not be a part or of the activity of the moment that's happening around consciously, the downside of this is that you might actually slip into isolation. So just be careful of that, Some of you might decide that, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be with myself. So avoid those kind of isolation moments and thoughts. Now, for some of you, this could be stillness because you have been sitting in silence. You have been doing the inner work. You have been gathering the information. And now you're ready to spit it out. For some of you, it could be that kind of you're targeting what you need to say and how you need to say. For some of you, it could be that as well. Now, for some of you, this could be that you're researching about something. You could be, reading up about a lot of things that people don't even know that exist, Scorpio. So for some of you, it could be that kind of a research. Or for others of you, you could be observing things, what's going on around you, while gathering some kind of data even. Now, for some of you, this could be that you're testing out a plan. Maybe you have a plan in mind, maybe a business idea, whatever that is. You might be testing something out without telling a lot of people, or without telling anybody, or without, without telling anybody. I feel you might be trying out something. For some of you, it could be that you are getting into spiritual retreats, or you are trying to do some digital detox, or you're trying to take things more slower, just to slow down things, just to pace things out. So it could be that you've been doing too much, you're tired, and you're deliberately choosing slow pace and less movement. For some of you, it could be that as well. I'm getting a very Silence of the Lambs kind of energy, the movie Silence of the Lambs. Now, for some of you, this could be that you're more silent, I feel, you're fine being silent. Maybe you're the chatty kind. You could be, but I feel that you are fine being silent, It's like you are preferring silence over the noise, something that has shifted inside of you. Or you might be actually avoiding the noise, or, avoid the fast, the speed, and all the superficiality that's going on in the world. For some of you, it could be that you just want more authenticity and, a slow pace life. So for some of you, you could be moving to slower areas, cities, and neighborhoods. Now, if this is not your energy, Scorpio, it could be the environment around you where people are, slowing down, or maybe they're more quieter, they're observant, or maybe they know more than they say, and suddenly, or maybe now they're saying things that they have known for a long time and they've held it in themselves for a long, long time. For some of you, this could be deeper conversations. You might be preferring to have these deeper conversations than ever before. Maybe, or maybe this would be people around you, that they were all shadow talks and surface level talks, but now those kind of talks are kind of, repelling to you. Or it could be the people around you, they're preferring to have more deeper and more meaningful conversations, where they can share the more inner details of themselves or of their lives. Now, I also feel that some of the people around you might be noticing that you're, unerringly quiet, or, they might be feeling that you say only what is needed to be said, like, very calculated, very measured talks, so some of you might be talking less as well. Now, for some of you, this could be, I feel that some of you could be preferring, for those of you that are planning to move into homes, you could be moving into some, locations that are really not sought after, or you might be investing in some places, maybe by the water, doesn't have to be, but it's like, some kind of a location where not many people are actually interested in that. For some of you, it could be that as well. People are kind of overlooking things, and you're seeing the benefit in investing in certain things. That could be people, places, things, projects. It could be, some kind of business or property investment. It could be even stocks, some kind of stocks that are underperforming. You were like, okay, let me invest into that. Versus, people that are not interested in investing into it. People might be running after or chasing after high performing assets, and you're like, okay, let me just go towards something which is like underperforming right now. That's just for a small portion of you. Now, for others of you, you could be investing into something which is like, beneath the ground, which is like, maybe minerals. You could be investing into the stocks of that, or some kind of things which grows under the ground. It could be vegetables even, but it could be other things as well, like, maybe, I don't know, mining minerals. You could be investing into those companies or stocks, or even some water projects, some kind of maybe something to do with water purification, or some kind of water salination, desalination plant. Some of you could be invested into that as well. So what I mean to say is that you're investing into things that are slow-paced, that are not moving fast, because fast moving is like a hair energy, but you're the Taurus. So you're not really following things. You're not following trends. You're not, pushing through. You're not, there's no urgency in investment and payouts. You're kind of playing a different kind of a game here, Scorpio. It's like you're investing into something unconventional that people are not turning towards. Because I feel that it's all about the timing, when the time is right. And you have that inner knowing about when the timing will be right. So, and the last card for today, Scorpio, you have is a message from Cosmos. And it says, when the world feels like it is coming crashing down around you, take that as an opportunity to find yourself and let go of who you thought you were. Not all storms come to destroy your life. Some come to clear your path. Decide that this crisis will be the turning point that you have been waiting for. That's exactly the summary of the entire reading for you, Scorpio. There is something, kind of a difficult around you, and I feel that you are being asked to use that as a chance to find your inner strength. You have the strength card. You're capable of much more. You have more strength than you know. And maybe you thought that you were not that strong, but I feel that now you will discover all your strengths, and you would understand that storms are here to clear the pathway and leave things that are strong in foundation. And I feel that's a turning point for you right now, Scorpio. So those were your messages, Scorpio. Now moving on to the sign of Pisces. So the first card you have, Pisces, is the Knight of Pentacles. This is earth energy, but it's in the reverse for you. Now, let's take a look at the picture. There are two frames out here, the upper frame and the lower frame. So, let's see. Now, if you see in the upper picture, there is this knight which is wearing a gray armor. And of course, there's a little bit of gold in it. And the horse is also gray. And then if you see the trees behind, they are like, they've shed all the leaves. It's like just skeletal trees are standing over there. But if you see, he's holding like this gold coin, this pentacle. And he's raising it up to the heavens, to the skies. He's not really using this pentacle. He's just showing it. He's raising it to the heavens. It's like, oh, look at my achievements. So it's a little bit of a performative kind of an energy that I'm picking up on. But the thing here is that he's on this horse, and this horse definitely is going somewhere, So this knight is going somewhere, and he definitely has this pentacle that he's showing, to the world. He has something to show for himself. But then there is this big, large golden pentacle which is lying right in the middle of the picture, right? It's in between two worlds. The pentacle is in between the world on top and the world below. So I feel that Now, if you see the below picture is the same person, the same knight, the same horse, but everything is in the reverse. But except that it's actually not the same horse, or maybe it could be, it's a warmer brown horse. It's it could be the same knight, and but the color of his armor is different. It's a bluer energy, and blue color is more mainly symbolic of our emotions. Um, but the picture is more brighter in the reverse. There's the green trees, there's growth, there's celebrations, decorations. The only thing is this pentacle is now falling. It's not, he's unraising it. Of course, in the inverted position, this pentacle is falling. But then, if you notice the contrast in the two pictures, the inverted picture, the picture below, is actually more vibrant. It's more alive, right? So, instead of the picture above, which is like very grayish, very kind of dead kind of a vibe to this. So with this Knight of Pentacles, of course, the energy is about, for the most part, Knight of Pentacles is stagnancy. But at the same time, because it's a pentacle energy, so there is sturdiness, there is slow movement, there is thought through movement, methodical. And yes, this Knight of Pentacles is very reliable, very steady. But it being in the reverse, it feels like a more performative energy rather than actually using the skills to build something. When you apply your pentacle, you grow your resources. Money draws money to it, right? When you invest your time, energy, it doesn't have to be just money investment. It has to be a time, energy, resources. Then you invest when you apply it. That's when your money grows. That's when you bring in the more pentacles, right? But here, he's just showing it, So it's a little bit of like, see what I have achieved, see how far I have come kind of an energy. But, the thing is, with the reverse energy over here, Pisces, especially for you, because there's a lot of blue energy, which I associate with the energy of water signs, and you are a mutable for water signs. So I would say this is your energy in the reversed picture, the picture below. But let's combine it with the earth energy. That's what the Knight of Pentacles brings to us. And when you combine water and earth, it becomes mud. That's when the ground is most fertile. When the earth meets water, that's when the ground becomes fertile. And I feel that, right now, that's what is fertile for you. The reverse world is more fertile for you, which means your inner world, something that's working behind the scenes. Your dreamy world, I would say. Your imagination, your psychic world, your plans, your goals, your ideas, your dreams. That's more alive versus you applying yourself to creating wealth. So I feel that maybe you had some goals in mind, like I want to create so much wealth. Maybe you had monetary goals, whatever that is, maybe you're kind of, you're not in that mood at this point in time is what I feel. Because if you see in the above picture, the knight exactly is moving. He knows where to go. But same energy reverse, loss of direction. And loss of direction is where the world is alive right now for you. So, loss of direction, I feel in your case, Pisces, because you're mutable water, it's a 12th house energy. I feel that more than, the typical energy of the Knight of Pentacles, which is stagnation or, lack of finances or financial blockages. I feel it's more that I feel that your goals, your ambitions, you're kind of letting that go in some way so that whatever you wish for, your dreams, you already have something else that you want to create. I feel that it's the time for that to grow, for that to take center stage. Because maybe you've been in a routine, maybe you've been day in, day out working towards creating wealth, and you're tired of it, you're tired of those routines. The methodical, the stable path, or as we say, the sensible path, has served you already. But I feel that now you're kind of drifting away from it. Maybe the routine life has just made you feel like, suffocated or constrained or restricted or constricted in some way. And now you're moving away from that routine to doing things that probably are not very, or resource-oriented or materialistic or not the most practical things. So maybe you have some larger dreams that people don't understand right now. But I feel that's kind of where you're going. That might be the direction that you want to take or need to take. Something is happening below the ground, below the surface, maybe your inner world, maybe your dream world. So I do feel that now you're taking a good look at your goals, like, is it even worth pursuing? Is it even worth collecting more money? Or am I just doing it just to look good in people? So I do feel that now the energy is asking you to stop performing for other people, like, stop performative energies. And there is some kind of a redirection which is happening for you is what I'm picking up on. Because if you see here, like, the mud is something that we can shape into pottery and all of that. Mud is used for a lot of things, Lotus grows in mud. Here there is a sunflower on his armor. But in general, lotus, beautiful flowers grow in muddy waters. There is mud therapy, which is getting very popular these days. Some of you could be into healing modalities or, doing something in regards to pottery, ceramics, using mud in some way, shape, or form for some of you. But I feel that, yes, things are moving in a little different direction for you now. And I feel that, maybe it's like a dream that your heart, it's something that is heartfelt. And things that, the rigid routines are now for you, for some of you, is fading away. It's becoming a little bit less rigid, less, less structured. So those structures I feel, are falling away. And things are working behind the scenes. So maybe you're working on something because, the current planetary alignments are also actually asking you to analyze the things that you have been working on, the goals, the structures that you have built over the years. Are they solid? Are they sustainable? So something is changing here. I think, it's a time of redirection for you. And I feel that, you are creating something, or maybe this is like your ideas are being reshaped. At a soul level, you're really considering something, willing something else. Your inner world is getting pulled out in a different direction. Or maybe you have started something which is, in the very small stages, basic stages, and now maybe you had started something and, now it's kind of in those, basic stages where you put the seeds in, that kind of energy where you plow the field, you put the seeds, you put water, and then slowly those little sprouts will start to come in. Just for some of you, it could be, you started something, you're working on something, and now things are starting to show up. Or maybe it's a good time for you to start something, but it's like a redirection in some way, shape, or form that's happening for you. And I feel that everything that you had created up till right now, you might be reconsidering, like, is it worth building on it further, or, is it even serving me? Yeah, it has served me so far, but what do I want to do going forward? Like, maybe you had a certain idea about money. Like, I want to have so much money in my account. Maybe that's shifting for you. Maybe that idea of having so and so money in your accounts is now suffocating. You're like, you know what? I'm happy with what I got so far, so I don't need to go that far or have that X number of money in my bank. So some of you could be reconsidering that as well. But whatever is coming up for you right now, Pisces, like your, whatever your soul is calling to, your idea, your gut, about your ideas, projects, your directions, I feel that is like, it's being blessed for you, and I feel it's blessed. It's like divinely sent. It's a divine move. It's time for it. Because your value system, I feel, is also shifting. Like, what's really important to you is also be shifting, I feel. In the next few days, you will see some kind of a value shift. Like, something that mattered to you before doesn't matter now. The only problem is that a lot of energy is scattered for you. I feel that you have like so many thousand things going on, and you're not able to focus on one thing as yet, is what I feel with this reversed energy, But I feel very soon things are, going to move. They're going to, the stagnation is going to get cleared up. And I feel that, things will start moving forward if you've been stuck, because this is a card of stagnation. So if you have been stuck, I feel in the next few days, you will get unstuck in whichever situation that is for you. And I do feel that you are going to reassess your goals, like, why am I working so hard, or why am I doing this and that? You'll be asking those questions. And it's good because, now you're actually examining your goals and seeing what is the purpose of it. Now, for some of you, this could be reassessments in your finances, like actually looking into your bank statements and all of that, loans where you have invested and all of that, and you feel like, there is some kind of lack of growth in some area that I want. So you feel like things have been stagnant for quite some time. Now, for some of you, this could be like you started up a project, but no, you kind of feel that you're not able to put in the work, or some kind of you're slacking on it, or you kind of lost direction, lost momentum. But it's that, you're still ready to go forward, but you just don't know which direction to pick, where to go, how to go about it. Now, for some of you, this could be, if this is not your energy, Pisces, it could be the environment around you, where things are changing suddenly. Maybe people are changing the directions, or companies, or they're saying something, or maybe they said something earlier, but now they're doing something completely radically different. Maybe there were plans that you had or somebody around you had, and now they're like, you know what? I have better plans now. So things changing in unexpected ways, maybe doing things that don't make sense, but then they turn out to be better. So some of that could also be happening around you. Now, for some of you, this could also be, I'm picking up on this energy of, regenerative investments. Like, it could be agriculture, could be land, could be environment of some way, could be investing into that, maybe some property in some, non so popular locations that seem impractical to buy. You could be investing in those places as well, or maybe some stocks or shares or something like that. This can also be, like alternative medicine for some of you. This could also be, that things that are, not documented. You could be interested in that, like alternative medicines for some of you. That could be it. Now, for some of you, I feel that, Pisces, because you're highly intuitive, you have that EQ, IQ, you're very intuitive intelligence you have. because 12th house is the house of spirituality as well. So I feel that for some of you, your intuitive nudges are also going to be priceless. It's a skill that is not really documented. Nobody talks about it. But, when we feel through things, especially the Piscean collective energy, the intuitive energy, the suggestions, the ideas that you get, I feel, are going to be highly valued. The next card, Pisces, you have is the snail. And if you see the snail, look at a picture. The snails are always like slow moving, slow paced, they're not in a rush. And the thing about snails is they are like forever, right? They've been here for millions of years. They've survived, generations and eras and eras. They're tiny, but they're, they have the survival instinct because they've survived for millions of years and they're still as slow as they were before. Nothing has changed. I feel that Pisces for you. Now, if you look at the snail, there is like a spiral shell that this snail is carrying. And, it just reminds me of the galaxies, right? The round and round spirals and galaxies and solar system and all of that, the universe. It feels like the snail is carrying the universe, it could be your world, your home, your wherever, on its back. And if you see, it has like these two antennae, and the antennae are like, to catch something, to sense something. I feel that for you, Pisces, there is something very divine associated with this spiral on the back. I feel that first and foremost, you are moving forward at a slow pace. We saw that with the Knight of Pentacles reverse, stagnation, or you could call it a slow movement. You are moving forward, slowly but surely. And, this energy of the snail is more about some kind of security, something. This shell of the snail is protecting its body. It's like also reminds me of crab energy, which is, of course, Cancerous energy, but I do feel something similar like that in your case as well. You are carrying something that you're protecting yourself with. Okay, and I feel that you are, whatever you are doing, whatever you're creating, you're taking thought through deliberate actions. So you're not rushing through things. Yes, you're moving at a slow speed, but it's the right speed for you out here. And I also feel that, it has this shell that protects its body, that safeguards something inside of this. I feel that this is like, Pisces, you are building something like within you. Some kind of a safety you're building inside of you. Like, I don't know how to say this. I feel that some kind of a safety that you're building, something that will protect you, that will go the distance, because I feel that, because you're a mutable water sign, highly intuitive, going with the flow, very flowing energy with Pisces, right? It's like watery, fluidy structure. But I feel that there is a push and pull right now, in terms of creating some solid structure or something tangible, a house, something that will last. Maybe you're trying to select between a routine, a structure, a regular job versus your dreams, something which is dreamy, fluidy. At this point in time, I feel something like that. There is a push and pull I feel that's happening. I also feel that you might be doing things that don't seem practical, like straightforward or something like that, but I feel that you are actually using your intuition, your sense. These antennas is like catching things that are invisible, that don't make sense to the mind, to the paper, they don't have logic that you cannot document. You're using something which is intuitive. I feel that's what you are using for your work or in your work or to create wealth. I don't know. You're using something very intuitive, something which is like, like when you get the goosebumps, you get a certain type of feeling. Your body tells you you're using that intelligence to create something. Or maybe you need to use that. So I do feel that maybe you're doing things that, people feel that it's illogical, or you're getting misunderstood for your ideas, but you're picking up on things. Your body, your antenna is picking up on something. And you're using that to make decisions, and people don't understand. Maybe they're misunderstanding you, your decisions, calling you impractical, but then in the end, that turns out to be solid and gold. So something quirky, something that's unique to you, Pisces, I feel that people are misunderstanding, but there is, sense in that. It's gold. I also feel that, there is some kind of a cycle which is completing for you. So it's like older things, older structures, maybe a belief system, your value system, it's like a snake shedding moment. Your whole identity is wrapping up, and now a new chapter, new version of you is emerging. New ideas, new value system, new intelligence, new sensibilities, new ways of investment, something like that is emerging for you. And I feel that, whatever is changing, there is like, you're protecting it, you're protecting it. You're moving slowly, you're not rushed, you're moving at your own pace, and nothing wrong with that. But I do feel that things are now going to progress forward. The snail leaves a trail behind, a silvery trail that becomes visible only after snail has traveled a certain distance. So that silvery trail is the path, the journey that you have traveled, which is now becoming visible. So maybe you've been working at something for so long in the quiet, and, you built something and nobody saw it. You were invisible. People didn't see you, didn't know what you were doing. But now they're going to see it. Like, what have you been working on? So something becomes visible to other people, the path that you've been on or what you have been exactly creating for yourself. And I feel that this change was divinely guided for you, because it was a deep transformation. It was a slow transformation, but it was also like a kind of a spiral, like, round and round and round, some kind of cycle closing. And, it's like not a straight linear path. You've been going round and round in circles or something like that, so I do feel that it's divinely meant to be. And now, for some of you, this could be that you are pacing yourself out slowly. Like, it could be like conscious movement rather than fast and rush to life. For some of you, it could be that. Some of you could be associated with companies and projects that have been working on some product for years and years, and now it's getting launched. After a long, snail space timeline, and now things are changing, moving fast. It's getting launched. People are getting recognized. the world is recognizing it. For some of you, it could be that as well. Now, for some of you, this could be like maybe, yeah, you are kind of circling back with something, maybe older things that you were trying to work on, and now you're back to it. That's for just some of you. But others of you could be engaged in, things that require time, patience, like gardening, brewing or writing or crafts and arts or something like that, takes time. It takes a lot of patience. For some of you, this could be spiritual practices, that take time to build. Or for some of you, this could be that you're reshifting your finances, the way you invested, and you're kind of seeing like, what should I, let go, especially if it's stocks and shares, what can you sell, what should you keep, and all of that. So you could be doing some financial assessments as well. But in general, I do feel like you are actually, kind of doing things slow-paced, like not being rushed, like, maybe you're kind of walking instead of driving. Maybe you're kind of cooking a lot, stews that take a lot of time to stew and all of that. For some of you, this could be that, like I said, like you're not in a rush, like you're paying attention, you're in the moment, you're not like multitasking, enjoying things slowly, surely, watching movies or shows that, longer shows, or just out there in outdoors in the garden watching sunsets, Some of you could be just into smaller pleasures, smaller things like a cup of tea, or just, in the backyard, in the front yard, watching the sunrise, watching the sunset, writing some ideas, simple ideas, simple books, simple poetry, or something like that, So there is like a slow movement, or this could be happening around you as well. Like, people around you might be just, taking some time. They're just chatting away, doing barbecues and longer talks and things like that. So for some of you, this could be your environment that's slowed down. And the last card for today, Pisces, you have is a message from the cosmos. And it says, one day when you least expect it, you are going to crash into someone who is going to be so soft and gentle with your heart. And you are going to be so glad that you kept it open. You are going to be so glad that you chose to believe it deserved more. I feel this shell is like you're protecting your heart. You could be carrying some kind of weight on your heart that's releasing now, and you might meet somebody that is going to be very gentle with your heart. It's going to that it's going somebody that's who's going to be gentle with your heart. And I feel that maybe that's why you're moving at a slow pace. But I mean, with older cycles completing for you, Pisces is energy. There are newer people that might be coming into your circle, and one of them might, match your frequency, like, the pace at which you move, not rushed, who's there, to listen to you, and who likes depth more than surface level talks, who's, somebody who appreciates the Piscean energy, the depth of Pisces, the thoughtfulness, who appreciates that, I mean, somebody like that might be around you, or might be coming in your, in your space or somewhere around you, and they've been moving slowly too. That could be it. And, the spiral which is on the snail, it could be that it's the energy, the cosmos, that's now kind of bridging the gap between two people, and so somebody could be entering into your energetic sphere as well. So Pisces, if you have been feeling like you've been going backwards or in spirals and round and around, I feel in the next few days you will realize that you have arrived, not only arrived, but you have arrived at a place, at a situation, at a point which is extraordinary. So, Pisces, those were your messages and hope you enjoyed them. So, thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.